50k per migrant, why landlords being paid to evict tenants? So grab your tea or something stronger and let's talk about it. Now guys, I keep hearing about this whole scheme for migrants and it's all over my socials, and at the time of filming this it's towards the beginning of May. So by the time you see this it's probably been about a week or so. Basically there is this scheme where apparently some landlords have been approached by the government to house migrants, and in some cases they're being offered 5 years rental contracts, and in some cases it'll be above market rent. So we need to talk about it. And this scheme also includes all repairs being done. So basically landlords will, even if the house gets trashed, the landlord apparently will, at the end of 5-year term, will get the house back in brand spanking new condition, because obviously someone, meaning us, the taxpayers, would have foot the bill for the house being remodernised. And this guaranteed 5-year rent scheme or contract, it also includes all repairs being done, which means that if the house does get trashed, then the house should be put back to new condition. Everything will be repaired and maintained during that 5 year. And I've got some comments, and guys, I do have my thoughts on this, and I'll touch more on this later on in the video. And hi guys, my name is Sabrina, and if you're new to my channel, I'm an architectural designer over the past 20 plus years, and for the past 3 or so years I have been dipping my foot into property investing by converting mixed use properties into residential properties. And let me tell you, the property world seems to never ever sleep. There's always something that seems to happen or make the headlines, and now all of us landlords are buzzing about this. And a company called Serco literally contacting landlords on behalf of the government to implement this new scheme. So I started hearing about this new scheme towards the end of April, the past couple of weeks or so, and on the surface it seems like a brilliant scheme. It seems like something that most landlords would probably bite their hands off to be part of, because it includes having guaranteed rent for 5 years, all your maintenance and repairs during that time covered, so no extra cost for you as a landlord, and in most cases you'll be getting above market rent. So dream contract, right? But in reality, things aren't always what they seem. To me, this just seems like a huge political fireball. And we've literally got to see the other side to this on the flip side. Because to me, it seems like landlords being incentivized to evict their current tenants in order to make way for these migrants. And in some cases, and these could be hardworking people, real families that could potentially be losing their homes. And this is all in order to make room for migrants that are coming from basically the hotels. And it just seems like a lot is being put onto landlords now, which is a bit rich, and I will come on to that later on in the video, to solve this migrant housing crisis. And we're literally not talking about small numbers here. When you're looking at the statistics, basically one migrant probably will cost on average around £50,000 per year to put up in these hotels. So the government's thinking that they're saving money by then putting them out into private housing, but at what cost? So basically, to try and save money and to solve this solution, but really pushes this onto us as smaller landlords. So who wins and who loses? And I've literally touched on this point that I'm about to make in an earlier video where I discussed corporate landlords and what that means for everyone. And basically corporate landlords are probably hearing this and thinking it's music to their ears. And let me explain why. It's all about control. So these corporate landlords that, as I've discussed in the earlier video, that literally seem to be pushing the smaller landlords out. They do not care about their tenants. They're not that emotionally attached. Whereas a smaller landlord will have more empathy for the tenants that are in our properties. The corporate landlords, they're all about their bottom line. They're all about doing this and running this literally as a corporate business. So the more money they can make, the happier they're going to be. So they're not going to be that bothered about the moral consequences of this scheme. They're just going to be happy and in cahoots and just really want to be going ahead with this. Whilst on the flip side, smaller landlords, we've been hit by so much over the years, all these tax changes, all of these things that have just we've taken as blows to our structure and how we run our business. And this is why I said earlier on in the video, it's a bit rich, because now they're coming running to us thinking that we're going to be the solutions. And smaller landlords like myself and you guys as well, we've been hit by so much changes to taxes, tax hikes, Section 24, regulation after regulation, and it's just crazy. And then now all of a sudden they're turning to us as the solution. And we've also been villainized and just made the scapegoat in the media and made out to be the bad guy. And I mean, that's one thing that I'm trying to change on my channel, is that whole stereotype of the dodgy, horrible landlord that doesn't want to do anything, fix anything or help or do anything for the tenants. And that is not the case. If we all did that, we'd have no tenants in our properties and there'd be no point to this at all. And now this scheme, you just can't make this up, can you? They've come with this scheme and it just seems like they're now, as I said earlier, they're wanting us to fix this solution for them. And don't get me started on how tenants seem to be treated as well. But yeah, I saw a recent video where it showed someone was saying that they were going to be getting kicked out in order for their landlord to take advantage of this scheme, and they had a month's notice. Somebody else, there was an elderly family where the government had sent them a compulsory purchase order for their property, and in that letter it did state that they were going to be housing migrants there. And I did say that things like this might happen if corporate landlords do take over as well, because they won't have the empathy that a smaller landlord would have for their tenants. And guys, by the way, if you are wanting to get into property but you're thinking that your finances might hold you back, you can use Unbiased. They are literally like a matchmaker for your finances. So if you need to speak to somebody about, say, a financial advisor, about improving your finances so that you can get into property, you can check out their website. And yes, I do make a small commission from everybody who signs up, so it's a great way for you guys to support the channel. So thank you so much in advance. And you'll get your first consultation for free if you sign up using the link in the description box below. So guys, the good and the bad to this scheme. So obviously the good things for the landlord is that you're going to be getting guaranteed rent, so a secure income for 5 years, and in most cases it's going to be above rent as well, above market rent. And it's also hands-off maintenance, because they are saying that they're going to be doing all the repairs and maintenance for you. And the cons for smaller landlords is it's ethical concerns. It's not, to me, it doesn't seem moral or ethical to take part in this scheme, as you'll be losing your existing tenants, and that is just going to really have a reputational risk for you, as it further creates this massive divide, and it could possibly play into any political or racial tension as well. And ultimately, whilst it might seem tempting to some smaller landlords, you've got to think of this as the long game, because especially as we've been hit with so much things, tax rises, tax changes, Section 24, all things like that, and also cost of living crisis right now, it might seem tempting. But it just seems to me like smaller landlords, or landlords like myself, are being used almost like pawns in this bigger government game. And also, I know they're saying that this is going to cost a lot less to the taxpayer, because obviously they're not paying so much in hotel costs and things like that. Literally don't know if that's really going to be the case, because if you do house the migrants, and if, for example, someone does trash a house and the house needs a total refurb afterwards, who's going to foot that cost? All the maintenance costs are going to be footed by us as a taxpayer. So are we really saving money? On the face of it, you'll be saving the initial cost, but the overall cost and cost of maintaining the properties, like vandalism, damage, or anything to the property that's been done by somebody that's been housed in there, that's going to come out of the taxpayer's pocket as well. Personally as well, I just think that if you are putting people that were in hotels and then putting them into more private accommodation, what's going to go on behind closed doors, you don't know. You don't know what's happening behind them. And it might be easier for organised crime to take place behind these doors because it's more private. And I think ultimately small businesses, small property investors and landlords like us, we need to look to play the long game and ultimately build or provide quality homes, serve our communities, and literally be in control. So let me know what you think in the comments. Would you sign up for this deal? Is this something that appeals to yourself? And if you're struggling to manage your current properties, then watch this video next for tips on how to manage and rent your property. I'm talking inventory reports, all the documents that you need to have and must have to give when you actually rent out your properties. Thanks guys, bye.